Okay, the second way you're going to use trigonometry to find missing parts of a right triangle is to find a missing angle. And the thing to remember here is the process is a little bit different, but setting up your equation is exactly the same. So let's try this example to find a missing angle. Okay, so notice here, you've got two sides of a right triangle and you're looking for the missing angle. So the question I always get is I don't know whether to use sine, cosine, or tangent, so I would recommend that be your first step. This is your point of reference. Label your sides and let's figure out which one of these three we're going to use. X is what I'm looking for, that's my point of reference. This is the opposite side. 10 is across from 90 degrees, that's the hypotenuse. Notice that the adjacent side is completely blank in this problem. So I believe I'm going to use opposite and hypotenuse. Which one uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. Now again, even though we're looking for an angle, we're still going to set up our equation exactly the same way. And then I'll explain to you how you finish it off from there. So it's sine of x. Again, this is the part that's different because I don't know what the angle is. But I still set it equal to a fraction, opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, so from here, this is the part that's different. We're looking for a missing angle. This is not sine times x. This is we're taking the sine of x, and we get this ratio. Well, this ratio is already plugged into your calculator, so what we have to do is we have to find it. We're going to unsign this value right here. We're going to do the inverse. On your calculator, that's second sine. And if you're using a graphing calculator, all you have to do is enter 6 divided by 10. Second sine is actually this button right here. That's the inverse of sine. Okay? Back up here, again, we're taking the sine of x. If I want to undo that, I want to hit the inverse of sine. So remember, calculator has to be set to degrees. If it's set to radians, you're going to do everything correct and get the wrong answer. So here we go. Your answer for this one should be, so your answer for this one's around 36.86 degrees. Depending on where they wanted me to round, that's where I'll write my answer. Remember also, you're responsible for your own calculator. You have to know how to use it. I know how to change radians to degrees on my graphing calculator, but your calculator might be different. You're responsible for that. I'll show you another example where you have to find a missing angle. So here's my right triangle. Those are the two sides I'm given. That's the angle I'm looking for. Again, the question I get all the time, I don't know whether to use sine, cosine, or tangent. So what should you do? Find your point of reference, it's x, and then label your sides. Which side is opposite? Which side is adjacent? Which side is hypotenuse? So here we go. Remember that the hypotenuse is opposite the 90-degree angle. Adjacent means next to. Don't confuse the hypotenuse. I know the hypotenuse is next to x, but it's still the hypotenuse. It's the hypotenuse first. This side is the adjacent. Notice here, the opposite side, completely blank. They're not asking for it. They didn't give me a value. I'm not going to use that one. Which one uses adjacent and hypotenuse? For this one, we're going to use cosine. The next thing I'd recommend you do first, make sure you set up your equation. It's always sine, cosine, or tangent of an angle. There's always an equal sign, and there's always a ratio or a fraction. Okay, again, this is not cosine times x, it's cosine of x. So to undo that, again, to undo cosine, I have to hit the inverse of cosine, which is second cosine. If I hit second cosine 15 over 20, enter, x is approximately 41.40 degrees.
Well, it's another great day to be a Titan.